Carter, just how many of these fellows have you run into? Let's see what we can do about that. It's working.
Yes! Good thing I disabled the weapon system, huh?
You really think we can realign these things to help in the field?
Maybe. Or at least we can learn more about their weaknesses. Looks stable enough.
Are you sure about this?
We don't have time. I trust my one. Here goes. Maybe we should stick to non-organic material for now.
That might be best. Kevin?
Ah, William. Good news, I hope? Come, come.
I was wondering about...
It was touch and go for a while, but the cure worked.
Excellent, excellent. If the underlying process is successful, then perhaps we can find a solution for the messes.
I sure hope so. You can't get me to be friendly to everybody in the world.
I was surprised we were able to get you to do so for even one.
Back to work.
Carter, you really going out in the Avenger? Things must be getting desperate out there.
How can we be sure our water supplies aren't tainted?
Weaver and Carter got access, took him out. Can you believe it?
Weaver strangled the son of a bitch with her bare hands.
Come on, Percy. Maybe we can win this thing after all.
Oh, let's not get carried away here. I mean, we got one of their leaders. That's great. Just think about how many of ours they got.
Look sharp, Agent. We've got a war to fight.
Hey, Agent Carter. Oh, looking good. I'd offer you a cigar, but Quartermaster says we're all out.
Whole base is worried about the end of the world, but you seem pretty happy with yourself. Why's that?
Why shouldn't I be? I was promoted to team lead.
Congratulations. We need more teams out there. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, well, you just wait, Carter. Maybe next time I'll be the one they're calling a hero.
Stopping Axis wasn't about getting glory. It was about saving the world.
Nice speech. Practicing that one for your medal ceremony?
Listen, if we can't focus on the war, there won't be any medals. Or anyone left to give them.
Sure, that's why you're volunteering for the mission to save the Earth.
I hope the agents under you are just as happy with your leadership.
Ugh, they're the worst. Always getting themselves into trouble. Who did I piss off to get saddled with a load like Newcomer?
They might not be the problem.
You're right. Might be the gear. Old Webb is probably giving us junk just because he's bitter we're still out in the field.
Sure, that's what's wrong. Of course. We're all working towards the same goal. Don't blame me if I get the big missions. There's no shortage of things that need to get done.
Sure, securing supplies and evacuating civilians. Can't make a name for yourself by scavenging and fleeing.
No, but you can save a lot of lives. If you'll excuse me, I've got to prepare for the big mission.
Sure, just rub it in. The big ones? Yeah, the ones that run right at you? I could do without them.
Hell, I'd take half a dozen of those things before going up against one of those gunships.
So there's me, crouched down, just peeking out over cover between shots. Meanwhile, newcomers across the way.
And I'm over there shouting at him, waving my arms around, trying to get him to look.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Then I see I'm hiding behind a damn barrel full of gasoline. That's a mistake you don't make twice. Yeah. For what's worth, that's where Percy wanted me. If it wasn't for Santiago, I wouldn't have made it back. How so?
I put a shield up for him. Just in time, too.
Remind me to buy those lab rats a drink for those shields. We sure could have used those back in my day.
Great spotting.
Got it!
I still say there's got to be a way to stop them here.
We can't face them head on, and there's just too many of them to fight one mission at a time.
The field cannot be trusted despite valid credentials. Enemy lookalikes are impossible to detect without screening. Remain vigilant at all times.
This was a nice office.
Had to be. Falk spent more time here than in his own bed.
So, who's getting the boss's desk?
Hey, don't you start. I still think they're coming back.
You would. But me, I'm a realist.
No, you're an opportunist. Room won't look the same without the director in it glowering at us.
Tell me again how it happened.
We're taking cover behind the crates when suddenly my mind was just full of this one idea. Over and over again.
And what was that idea?
Team leader is an enemy. Kill him. Over and over. He's an enemy. Kill him. But I wasn't the one thinking it.
And what did you do then?
I didn't do it.
That's not the story I hear from forensics or from your remaining squad mate.
It was my arm and my gun, but I wasn't the one who did it.
I know what those bastards can do to a man. But from now on, any other teammate is only going to see you as a liability in the field.
I know, sir.
I'm reassigning you to base duty, something quiet, away from the action. You'll also
also see the counselor 3 times a week for therapy and monitoring, in case there are long-term effects.
Understood, sir. Thank you, sir. It's just... that wasn't me. I couldn't have done a thing like that.
You're in a war. That's what we all tell ourselves.
Good, you're here. I need a word.
Angie, how are you doing with everything that happened?
Axis is dead. As for Pete, I lost him years ago, Will. This was just the final goodbye.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. Now, let's get back to work. We don't have much time.
What do you mean?
We were right. This attack is the precursor for a larger one. The rest of their forces will be here in hours. A day if we're lucky.
That doesn't give us much time.
No, but we can evacuate a few towns before their attack. I've sent several squads out to get started.
Good work. But we still need to know how to get to Origin.
Already on it. The information's been isolated, but we're still figuring out the exact coordinates.
You find what you were looking for back there?
I knew putting him down wasn't going to change much. It won't bring anyone back, but I can sleep a little easier. Thanks, Will, for giving me that chance.
I want you to know. What happened with your brother back there?
Will, it's okay. You were right. It had to be done.
I only hope you'd do the same for me if it came down to it.
If it's you, I won't have to think twice.
Ah, thanks.
But thank you, Will. And I'm sure Pete would thank you too.
This strike sounds like it'll be a one-way trip.
Maybe. I'm not going to worry about it. If we die, we die. I'm going to make sure that Origin comes with us.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
I've lost as much as anyone in this war, and I'll damned well be there to finish it.
There's not a lot of time.
Understood. Go check on Weir for the target's coordinates. I'll be ready when you are.
Whatever happens from here out, it's been an honor to serve with you.
Report. Multiple alien Titan-class aircraft observed in Flagstaff vicinity. I'm running the sun now. Some of the scientists have been working around the clock.
That's everything we need. Run those to the director and tell him I'll meet him at the hangar. Ah, Carter, just in time.
Got our travel plans ready, Doc?
Yes. I've just finished calculating the coordinates for our strike, and I've tested the Venn gate as well as I can, given the conditions.
We won't get a second shot at this.
Well then, I suppose it's now or never.
That's a strange thing to hear coming from you.
Sometimes the best test is a live one, Carter.
We're risking it all on this, but I know you haven't let us down yet.
I'll be risking my life on it too. After all, you'll need me there to operate the gates.
So, the data from Axis gave you the coordinates you needed. Where do they point?
Most definitely. They point to a particularly isolated point in orbit around the alien homeworld.
Where exactly is the alien homeworld?
It's hard to describe precisely without a star map, but it's approximately 600 light-years away from Earth, in the Cygnus constellation.
They're a long way from home.
Planets that can sustain our kind of life are few and far between, even in an infinite universe.
You've opened other Venn gates before, right? This isn't all just theoretical.
Of course. You were there when Lawrence and I opened the first one.
That didn't exactly turn out well.
No, but it worked. And we've had success in smaller tests since then, using recovered outsider technology.
Well, that's good to hear, I think.
Of course, the real test will be transferring something as large as the Avenger. We'll see about that soon enough, though.
Any idea what we can expect to find on their homeworld?
Thankfully, the outsiders seem to have a similar environment and gravity to our own. No doubt that's why they chose Earth for their conquest. But the rest may be, as they say, quite alien.
What sort of defenses would they have?
The Avengers' stealth ability should get us past the toughest defenses, but it looks like you'll have to do the last leg of the trip on foot.
Just me and my squad in an alien base? Sounds like fun.
Their security will no doubt be fierce, but I'm happy to say it'll be limited. They apparently try to keep Origin's location secret, so they can't garrison an entire army around it.
We're gonna be relying on your work. I sure hope it makes the grade, Doctor.
As do I. You're not the only one whose life is on the line. Can't say I relish the risk of dying so far away from home, but how many scientists have a chance to see an alien world?
Don't think of it as dying far away from home. Think of it as dying to save your home.
Yes. That's much more comforting, isn't it?
Please report to Director Falk in office. Agent Carter to Director Falk.
I suppose it's time. See you in the Avenger, Carter.
Warning. The sleepwalker infection is now known to be spread through contaminated water reserves. Operatives...
Get those evacuation orders out, and keep the agents defending the high-profile targets.
Yes, sir. Understood. We'll keep everything running until you return.
Your inexplicable confidence is noted and appreciated, Chelsky. Oh, here's Carter now. Carter, good. I'm told that everything is ready.
Yes, sir.
Glad to hear it. We'll depart within the hour.
That's it?
Carter?
No speeches? Nothing to say?
This isn't the time for speeches, Carter. You know what's at stake, and you know the odds.
Yes, sir, I do.
I'd expect no less.
Don't sound so grim, old man. I'm not that easy to kill.
Every man has his limits, but if anyone can pull this off, it's you, Carter.
That's because I don't do things halfway.
And that's exactly why I picked you.
Hasn't this Origin been around for, well, forever for all we know? What if stopping him and shutting down Mosaic isn't as simple as shooting him in the head?
We've made every preparation we can with the information we have. And if that's not enough, well, you've shown a talent for thinking on your feet.
You're telling me to improvise? That's a change. What if we get there and I don't have the tools I need?
Don't worry, I've got a backup plan. But frankly, you're the best chance we've got.
Supposing we do manage to close the gates, what happens to the outsider forces on Earth?
I'm leaving a detailed battle plan. It's currently being distributed to the acting Joint Chiefs. The hope is that once we've separated our world from theirs, enemy supply lines will be cut off and the individual enemy platoons will be severed from the central command. This ought to give our military the edge they need to finish things.
Doesn't sound like you plan on being around for the cleanup.
The odds of us returning from this mission are slim. No use pretending otherwise.
I just don't understand. Our missions have been a success.
No, your missions have been a success. If you'd call losing 2 towns and barely escaping with your objective successful. And even so, no one else has your success rate in the field.
We can get more agents, better training.
The outsiders are the ones with an endless stream of troops, not us. There's only one option. We've got to take the fight to them.
I'm ready to go. I'll meet you in the Avenger.
You know what's at stake here, Carter, and you know the odds. You've survived this long. I know you're the right man for the job.
contact without screening. Remain vigilant at all times.